Optioning down AJ Smith-Shawver instead of Bryce Elder was a mistake by the Atlanta Braves. Yes, welcome on in to Braves Today for Monday, April 14th. Your source of news, notes, and updates on your Atlanta Braves. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. You can follow the show on xbraves_today. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram as well. And you can find all of my written work, bravestoday.com. That's the Braves Today Substack, as this is both a podcast and a newsletter. I dropped a big, long piece on Monday morning, takeaways from the series. We're going to get into some of those a little bit later in this episode. We're going to talk about what to do in the corner outfield. I've got thoughts about Jarred Kelenic and Bryan de La Cruz. We're going to talk about the rotation being an issue, including calling out a veteran. But first, I want to talk about the decision over the weekend to option down AJ Smith-Shawver instead of Bryce Elder when the team wanted to add a reliever. And this has nothing to do with Michael Peterson. He made his Braves debut on Sunday, pitched 2 scoreless innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout in Atlanta's series-ending loss to the Rays. But his roster spot should have been Bryce Elder's roster spot, not AJ Smith-Shawver's. Both guys pitched in this series, and it's very hard to look at what they both did and say that the one that needed to go down is AJ Smith-Shawver. Bryce Elder gives up 5 runs. I think it was on 8 hits through 6 innings. And here's the thing, he wasn't necessarily bad through 5. He had 3 runs allowed. You'll take that. We're going to get more into that in the next segment. AJ Smith-Shawver allows only the 2 runs in his 5 innings. More strikeouts. He looks really good. If you look at the season performances for both of these guys, AJ Smith-Shawver right now, he is 0-2 with the caveat that the Atlanta Braves have not scored a single run while AJ Smith-Shawver has been in the game in 3 starts. His first start against San Diego, 5-0 shutout. His start against Miami last Saturday, 4-0 shutout. Atlanta won 5-4 on Saturday, but every single run came after AJ Smith-Shawver was out of the game. He pitched 5 innings. He allowed 2 runs. Drew Rasmussen pitched 5 innings with no runs. AJ Smith-Shawver literally has never gotten a single run of support while he has been in the game. And Saturday's game was the first time all season that the Braves had even scored a run in a game that he started. Atlanta has scored 5 runs in all 3 of his starts, and all of them came after he left the game on Saturday. So you really can't do the win-loss record thing with AJ Smith-Shawver. Okay? But 0-2, 4.61 ERA. Fielding independent pitching, 4.17. So a little bit of bad luck there by his defense. 17 strikeouts in 13 2/3 innings. Flip side for Bryce Elder. 0-1. You do have run scoring issues there. You have run scoring issues with every Brave starter, really. 0-1. 10 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, whip of 1.4, 7.20 ERA. Bryce Elder has allowed 8 runs in his 10 innings on 12 hits and 2 walks. That's compared to AJ Smith-Shawver, who has allowed 8 walks and 19 hits in 13 2/3. So AJ Smith-Shawver has dealt with more traffic on the base paths. Yes. But what doesn't make sense to me is the 22-year-old who looks like he turned a corner on Saturday, gets sent down in favor of the 25-year-old, about to be 26. Bryce Elder turns 26 next month. The 25-year-old that you now have a 50-game sample in the majors that shows outside of his all-star first half in 2023 that he's been a well below average starter. His ERA last year, 10 starts, 6.52. His ERA in 2023 after the All-Star break, 5.11. And his ERA this year, 7.20. He's trending the wrong direction. And to option down the young, promising player over, I'm going to call a veteran now, the guy with 50 starts, you know what he is, to me is a little bit of malpractice. Now, if you're trying, it's not just the performance, right? It's also the situation of the roster flexibility, right? Bryce Elder was optioned down to Gwinnett to start 2025. So he is solidly in that option year. He has one more after this. AJ Smith-Shawver is entering his final option year. So sending him down on, technically it was after the game on Saturday. It was retroactive to Saturday. Sending him down on Saturday popped that final option year. So rather than moving Elder back to Gwinnett and just doing the second of the moves you can make in the same option year, they popped the final option year of AJ Smith-Shawver when arguably you didn't need to. The biggest frustration for me, I guess there's two really. Frustration number one is it really felt like AJ Smith-Shawver turned a corner on Saturday. Okay, let's go back and let's look at that third inning. Okay, strikeout to open the inning, single to Yandy Diaz, single to Brandon Lau off of Matt Olson, like it was a bad luck single. Probably should have been an out, right? He walks Junior Caminero. He walks Jonathan Aranda to bring in a run. From that point on, here's what AJ Smith-Shawver did in that game. Strikeout, inning over. Single, double play, erases the single. Strikeout, ground out, strikeout. He buckled down. He got a little bit pissed. He buckled down, and he dominated from that point on. So thing number one, the trend line for AJ Smith-Shawver got better across that start. And the reward that he gets for getting better across that start is getting sent back to Gwinnett. He's allowed 3 or less runs in all 3 of his starts. Now, he's only once finished the 5th inning. That was on Saturday. And we're going to get to that. I have a whole thing about the rotation being a problem in general and Chris Sale specifically. We're going to get to that in the second segment. So that is a concern. But after he battled to win a rotation spot in spring, and after he's gone out there and he's done everything they've asked him to do, and he's been, for a young player who, let's not forget, this start on Saturday was his 9th career start in the majors. 9 games. He started 5 games in 23. He started 1 game last year because of the injury. And he started 3. It's his 3rd start this year. That doesn't count the postseason. He did start 1 postseason game. So I guess it's his 10th start in the majors, right? His 10th start in the majors. And you can see some of the progress. And he gets sent down over a dude that has 50 starts and outs after that 2023 All-Star selection in the first half. Since then, not only has not been good, but statistically has been getting worse and worse every single year. There's no way he knew this was coming. And it's at the point where it's starting to make me concerned about what it's going to do to him from a mental perspective. And I know this is not, listen, the people who watch and listen to this show, the people who read Braves Today, I know y'all aren't these people. But on social media, the number of people who, when I put that out there on social media after the option happened on Sunday morning, the number of people who put out, so what? He's got to toughen up. He can get over it. If this bothers him, he doesn't have the mentality to be a major league player. Frustrates me. He's a young player. He's a young kid. He's 22 years old. He's busting his butt to be better. He looks like he turns a corner in that start. And the reward that he gets is being sent down for a guy with 50 plus starts in the majors who has not been good in a season and a half and has been getting worse. I hate it for the kid. Like, I'm pissed about it on Sunday morning. I think it's dumb. I don't like it because, one, you don't want to hurt his confidence. Again, a little bit of struggles on Saturday. He turned a corner. He started looking much better after that walk. He buckled down. He started realizing, hey, they're just giving me the low fastball in the zone. If I landed in the zone, they are taking it every single time. That is a strike. And I can just keep throwing that low fastball and getting strikes and playing the splitter off of it. It worked. It absolutely worked. He buckled in, had a good showing from that point on. Do they have a different set of standards for AJ Smith-Shawver than everybody else? It feels like that. It feels like the expectations for him and what he has to do to stick has to be a lot higher than what Bryce Elder has to do to stick. Not fair to AJ Smith-Shawver. I hate the decision. I still hate it. He can't come up for 15 days unless somebody goes on the IL. So it's not like this was just they didn't need another starter for a week and a half and they want him to stay on schedule. He's out for at least 2 weeks before he can come back. And again, you pop that final option year when I don't think you had to do that yet. In just a second, there is one reason to keep Bryce Elder over AJ Smith-Shawver, and it addresses an issue that the rotation has had this season in general, and Chris Sale specifically. We'll get to that next, right here on Braves Today. But first, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Chinook Seedery. This is the absolute best sunflower seeds on the market. I got a new sampler pack in over the weekend. My mother was here for my daughter's birthday. So my mother, my wife, me, we all sat down with the sampler pack and we went through all 8 of the flavors. Original, lemon pepper, jalapeno ranch, hatch chili, smokehouse barbecue, dill pickle, cinnamon toast, Parmesan and pepper. And everybody tried all of them to figure out what we liked and what was the best. Again, I'm still a Parmesan and pepper guy. I like Parmesan and pepper. My wife thought the cinnamon toast was pretty good. My mom was like, hey, smokehouse barbecue's not bad. She's a big original person. Lemon pepper was pretty good to her too. You go try them all yourself. ChinookSeedery.com. You can get the sampler pack. Once you figure out what you like and what's your favorite, promo code BRAVES gets you 10% off your order, free shipping on an order over $40. You can either buy a variety pack, it's a case of some of everything, or you can build your own pack with just the flavors you like. Maybe you don't want spice, you don't want jalapeno ranch, you don't want hatch chili. Maybe you're not a fan of pickles, you don't want the dill pickle flavor in there. Whatever it might be, you customize and build your own variety pack. ChinookSeedery.com, promo code BRAVES gets you 10% off. That's ChinookSeedery.com, promo code BRAVES. Welcome back to Braves Today. Lindsay Crosby talking about the weekend that was against Tampa Bay Rays. You go 1-2 in that series. The Braves still have yet to win back-to-back games. And the only thing that I can think of that explains keeping Bryce Elder over AJ Smith-Shawver, and I don't think this should be the way you look at it, but it would be an explanation, is the fact that outside of Spencer Schwellenbach, who in his 3 starts has gone 6, 8, and 6 innings, and that last one would have been more if not for the rain. Outside of that, no Braves starter is averaging more than 5 innings a start. Okay? Chris Sale, 4 starts, 19 total innings. Renato Lopez in his 1 start went 5 innings. Grant Holmes has 8 innings across 2 starts. AJ Smith-Shawver has 13 2/3 across 3 starts. It's like 4.2 an outing. Bryce Elder has 10 innings across 5 starts, and it was 4 and 6. And I know some people, real quick, I want to get to Chris Sale, okay? Because some people, and I commented on this, I think it was on social media yesterday. Maybe it was in the Braves postcast. And some people said, hey, Chris Sale wasn't great to start last year either. In Chris Sale's first 4 starts last year, 24 2/3 innings, 27 strikeouts, 6 walks, 3 homers, went 2-1. Okay, whatever. He twice went 7 innings. He allowed 2 runs, 5 runs, and 3 runs. So 4.35, 4.37, 4.38 ERA, something like that. That's all in my head. I haven't looked at that yet. This year, 5 innings, 4 2/3, 4 1/3. The runs are 3 runs, 5 runs, and 3 runs. The ERA is like 6.63 or something. So, yes, he also started off slow last year, but he struggled to an extent early this year that he did not struggle to last year. Last year, it was 2 starts, and then it clicked. Again, he had 5 1/3, 5 1/3 his first 2 starts last year. Both of those were 2 runs. And then from there, 7 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings, 5 at Seattle. I remember that was like a colder game on May 1st. 6, 7, 7, 7. He was Chris Sale. He was Cy Young winning Chris Sale. This year, the trend line's going the other direction. Yes, you had some cold against Philly. He went 4 2/3, 5 runs. Good team, some cold weather. It was sunny and beautiful in Tampa, and he went 4 1/3. 4 runs, 3 earned. Let's clarify that. But still, 4 runs, 3 earned in 4 1/3 innings. And to Chris Sale's credit, he was very frustrated about his performance after the game when he talked to the media. Quote, I just hate sucking and I'm just bad. Simple. This game is definitely about results, but I guess if I'm going to suck, I might as well go out there and let it rip. And he's talking about the velocity was back, right? The velocity was fine. We had questions after the Philly start. A lot of that looked like it was just the cold. His velo was back. He hit 98 miles an hour. He had 10 pitches at 97.2 or harder. His average fastball velocity was 96 in this game. And that was his explanation was, if I'm going to suck, might as well go out there and let it rip. And he did clarify that it's frustration with Chris Sale. He feels fine, right? Quote, I don't know if I've ever been this frustrated, honestly. It's just, I feel like I'm banging my bleeping head against the wall right now, and I'm getting nothing out of it. He says he's healthy. It wasn't too long ago that I was doing pretty good. I felt like I had a good spring training, and then the lights flick on, and it's go time, and I'm left behind. Am I worried about Chris Sale long term? No. He didn't go from winning the Cy Young to falling off a cliff in one off season. But right now, he is not providing that top of the rotation stability that you need to build a pitching staff around him. Spencer Schwellenbach is. To Schwellenbach's credit, he absolutely is. And the only way that the Bryce Elder not being demoted thing makes sense to me, the only way is if you look at this from the perspective of we have to get as many innings as possible out of the starters. And we know that Bryce Elder can go deeper into games. Now, I would question the wisdom of this strategy, right? We saw what happened when they tried to get one additional inning out of him on Friday. We saw what happened, gave up the home run. It was like a 5-run. Like we saw the whole situation. But the only way that this makes sense, keeping Bryce Elder and sending AJ Smith-Shawver down, is if the priority here is we need to get as many innings as possible out of whoever the starter is, because we have less pieces than we've had in the bullpen before. We have other guys in the rotation that aren't going incredibly deep. Again, nobody outside of Schwellenbach is averaging more than 5 innings a start. Nobody. Sale's not. Holmes isn't. Elder wasn't. Smith-Shawver's not. Lopez didn't. Nobody's doing it. And Spencer Strider comes back on Wednesday, and we don't know how deep he's going to be able to go. He's coming back off of elbow surgery. Yes, his pitch count, he hit 90 pitches in Gwinnett, whatever. But they're probably not going to push him very hard because he's just coming back from injury. So that's the only way it makes sense. And I would argue keeping a guy who can go an extra inning in Elder, but give up 3 more runs than Smith-Shawver does not help you. I would rather ask a long reliever to pitch a second inning or a third inning than I would take a guy who has an ERA 2 runs worse, an ERA of 7.20 right now. Keep that guy just so he can give you an extra inning on his start if he doesn't get blown up before that. In just a second, let's talk about the corner outfield, because Alex Verdugo hit another home run in Gwinnett and then exited the game early, not because of injury. We'll break that down next, right here on Braves Today. Welcome back to Braves Today. Final segment here on Monday. Thank you to everybody for understanding the voice. Spent a lot of time outside this weekend. The pollen's just the worst right now. So trying to get over this. That's why I'm so scratchy. And of course, I can't take a break because every time the Braves play, we're doing a postcast and all of that over on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Okay. Jarred Kelenic is... I'm going to break out an old chestnut here. 2 things can be true at once. Okay. He's walking, feels like more than he ever has, right? Last 7 games, 5 walks, he's hitting .231. But it doesn't outweigh the negatives right now. Okay. His overall average is 162 with a 262 on base and a 270 slugging. And unlike a lot of guys on this team, this is not one of those bad luck kind of things. His expected batting average is 147. His actual slugging is 51 points higher than his expected slugging. He has 16 strikeouts of those 5 walks. In 9 opportunities with runners in scoring position, he doesn't have a hit. Batting 0-0 with runners in scoring position. And in what MLB calls a late or close situation, being the final 3 innings of a game, and the score is within striking distance, right? The batter's team's trailing by 3 runs or fewer, it's tied, or you're ahead by only 1 run, right? Or bases loaded, and the score's within 4. Late or close situations, that's MLB's definition. 5 at-bats, 4 strikeouts. So he's not delivered in the clutch. Also, you saw a little bit of defensive issues on Sunday. He made a fly out in right field and tried to throw to Matt Olson to get the double play, threw it over Olson's head, runner advanced to third. Later, he didn't quite get to a shallow fly ball in right field, which happens. I'm not blaming him for that. But when he didn't get to it, he then did not attempt to throw home when Yandy Diaz was trying to score from second base. And I have not seen the high home shot. I don't know where Yandy Diaz was when Kelenic got the ball. But Yandy Diaz has 8th percentile sprint speed. feels like you at least need to try in that situation. So you've got that over in right field. In left field, Bryan de La Cruz is in a similar situation. He also has no hits with runners in scoring position in 8 attempts. He has 16 strikeouts to only 3 walks. And while he's hit the ball hard sometimes, he does have a little underperformance on the actual versus expected stats. He's also not playing well, right? The Jurickson Profar suspension really threw a wrench in this whole thing. Because you could live with Kelenic and De La Cruz rotating through a corner outfield spot until Ronald was back. But with Profar also gone, they're both playing every day, and it's a problem. So Alex Verdugo, again, left the game in the 4th inning on Sunday after hitting a 3-run home run. It got to the point where I went to go check to see if there were flights from Atlanta to Toronto nonstop. There were. Delta had 2 flights on Sunday night. David O'Brien of The Athletic relayed over in his recap of the series that the plan was for Verdugo to get the rest of the game off because he played all 14 innings of the doubleheader on Saturday. But I still think it's just a matter of time before Verdugo joins the Braves. And at this point, despite Jarred Kelenic having the defensive chops for center field, where Bryan de La Cruz does not, I genuinely think Jarred Kelenic might be the one to get sent down to Gwinnett to play every day in Gwinnett while Alex Verdugo takes his place. You do have Stuart Fairchild and Eli White who can play outfield. They can cover center field. Both of those guys got starts over the weekend. Fairchild, I think, started for Kelenic. White started for De La Cruz over the weekend. So both those guys got starts out there. So you have the coverage to put somebody in a corner outfield spot, and then that guy can cover center if something were to happen to Michael Harris. I don't know which one of those is going to go down, but because of the handedness thing, Kelenic and Verdugo are both same side of the plate and all that stuff. I'm starting to think Jarred Kelenic is going to be the one to get sent down to AAA. The other position battle that I think we've already now, if we have not gotten the answer on it, this needs to be the answer, is Nick Allen needs to be the shortstop. Okay? Nick Allen's played 9 games. Orlando Arcia's played 7. Arcia is 5 for 24. It's a 208 average. He has 1 extra base hit, 1 walk to 7 strikeouts. Nick Allen is 9 for 28, 3 runs, 2 doubles, an RBI. He's stolen 3 bases, 1 walk to 8 strikeouts. So he's batting .321 with a 760 OPS. But the other part of this is that while it's a small sample size, Orlando Arcia has been a below average defender this year. He's at -1 run value already. And he doesn't actually he has 57 innings at shortstop. And he's graded out a negative defender already. It's range. It's almost entirely range. His range is 12th percentile, -2 outs above average on range, which is something I've talked about before, is I didn't understand how he graded out so well. And his range was so good despite the poor foot speed. And his foot speed's even worse. He's slower than Yandy Diaz. He's a 7th percentile sprint speed. This is Orlando Arcia, while Yandy was 8th percentile at first base. So Nick Allen's a better defender. He's faster. He's stealing bases. He's been able to put down some bunts and things like that to help advance runners and whatever. While he has the occasional rough game, I think he had a game over the weekend where he struck out 3 times. For the most part, Nick Allen needs to be your starter at shortstop every day. That is his job until proven otherwise. And I know a lot of people have said he's never hit in the majors before. Maybe this is just a mirage. I will point out, just like Sean Murphy, he also has the rec specs. And Justin Toscano of the AJC, friend of the show, did a story on it over the weekend and talked about Allen noticed he was having trouble while driving. And so Allen got an eye exam, and they prescribed him the glasses. So he's playing with the glasses now when he's never had them before. Just like Sean Murphy, playing with the glasses when he's never had them before. I don't know if an eye exam is part of the standard MLB physical entering spring training, but it needs to be. Because this is now two Atlanta Braves who got glasses on their own over the offseason. They both noticed issues while driving and took it on themselves to get an eye exam and were prescribed glasses. And we are seeing offensive improvement from them that they did not have before the glasses. We all remember Eddie Rosario was having so much trouble a couple seasons ago. He ended up having to have an eye surgery like late in spring, and he missed the first couple months of the season. I think that was 22. I don't remember exactly when it was, maybe 22. It feels like if they have not been doing this, they need to give every guy a comprehensive eye exam in spring training. Bring in an optometrist, have them set up in the clubhouse or set up in a spare room somewhere at the facility, and give every single guy a professional grade eye exam when they start spring training, so that if they find something like this, they can get the guy the contacts, the glasses, whatever, so that they're ready to go by the season. Because Nick Allen could be a different player now that he's wearing glasses. It's a small sample size. We don't know, but that could have been his issue. Sean Murphy, we talked about he wasn't fully back from the oblique issue a lot last year, yeah. But he also struggled to hit fastballs for the first time in his career. And I chalked that down to bat speed. I chalked that down to like lingering weakness in the oblique and just not able to catch up to fastballs. Maybe it was also an issue of he couldn't see the spin that well. So give every guy an eye exam. I guarantee you there is an eye doctor in Atlanta that will volunteer their services in exchange to be the official eye doctor of the Atlanta Braves. I guarantee you there's probably somebody within 3 miles of the Battery that would do it. Bring a whole mobile setup in, give every single guy an eye exam. Heck, you can do a thing, just do it. If you do it in spring, next year, you can get all the minor leaguers too. There's no reason to not do this. I don't know. Maybe there is a vision check as part of the intake physical for spring training. I don't know if there is or not. Full disclosure. But if there's not, there needs to be. This has been Braves Today for Monday, April 14th. You're listening on audio. Do us a favor. Leave us a 5-star review. Apple, Spotify, whatever Google uses nowadays. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we drop the next episode. Also, go subscribe, bravestoday.com. That takeaways article from the weekend, over 2,000 words. So, couldn't get to everything here, but definitely go check it out. Until next time, this has been Braves Today.